Will Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and the Bengals rack up a second straight road win and improve to 6-8 on the season? It's time for 5 things to watch for in a prediction right now on CBT. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, support our sponsor, BetUS, with code YouTube150, and let's get into what is an interesting matchup. I mean, there are a lot of interesting storylines going into this one, whether it's Brian Callahan and obviously him facing Zach Taylor after being his offensive coordinator for 5 years, coaching Joe Burrow for 4 years, Jamar Chase for 3 years, Chidobe Awuzie and what he's meant to Jamar Chase, certainly as a rookie, giving him hell in training camp, making it hard on Chase, which certainly set him up for success as a rookie and beyond. Tyler Boyd, what he meant to this Bengals team. So a lot of storylines from that standpoint. But the 5 things I'm watching for, well, they have at least some to do with the familiar faces. Number one, though, is Joe Burrow and Joe Burrow's knee. Joe Burrow was limited in practice on Wednesday, limited again on Thursday. He's going to play on Sunday. I'm not saying he won't, but how effective can he be? Will he be able to move around like you expect him to, like he expects to, like he wants to? I think that that's a big, I don't want to say concern yet, but it's a question. And hopefully by Sunday, he's feeling good. Again, the Monday night game makes it tough. The Wednesday practice isn't really a practice. The Friday practice is the most intense one of the week because of the Monday game. And so we'll see. But hopefully Joe can move around. That's number one for me. And two, well, you know what number two is. It's Joe, Jamar, and the pursuit of records. Jamar Chase enters week 15 as the Triple Crown winner, leader, whatever you want to say, in receiving yards, receptions, and receiving touchdowns. Can he continue that? Can he set franchise records in all 3 of those categories? On pace for 20 touchdowns, which is something last week I told him he had 13 touchdowns. I was like, man, you could get 20 touchdowns. You need 7 touchdowns in 5 games. I was like, get to 20. It's real. That's a elite company if you get to 20 touchdowns. Only Jerry Rice and Randy Moss have done it. 20 receiving touchdowns, to be clear. And Joe Burrow trying to set franchise records for passing yards, passing touchdowns. He's on pace for 43 passing touchdowns. So those are 2 things that I'm certainly going to have an eye on all season long. Honestly, with the playoffs where the playoffs are, that's where I'm at. Number 3, and let's get to the defense. I need this defense to create some chaos. I want this Bengals defense to make sure that Will Levis feels them. And whether it's pressure, Joseph Osai sacks in 3 straight games, Trey Hendrickson leading the NFL in sacks, or it's guys like Cam Taylor-Britt racking up another interception. And Cam has been better over the past couple of weeks. I feel like Geno Stone has played a bit better over the past couple of games. Can it continue? Will it continue? They have to force turnovers. They have to create chaos if they're going to win on the road for a second straight week. 2 other things I'm watching for, plus my prediction, coming up next. Today's video is brought to you by BetUS. Get in on the action. And right now, the Bengals, they're road favorites for a second straight week. And it's a 5-point line, which I think is interesting. You'll see in my prediction coming up in just a bit here with BetUS. But right now, you use code YouTube150. You'll get a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. All you have to do is go to betus.com, use code YouTube150. And it's not just money lines. It's not just the spread or the over under. You can get in on parlays. You can get in on all of the prop bets. Joe Burrow's prop for passing yards set at 277.5 yards. Jamar Chase, 85.5 yards. Again, go to betus.com and use code YouTube150 for a 150% bonus up to $2,000. All right, let's get to number 4. And number 4 is back to the offense. It's this offensive front and how this offensive front holds up against Jeffrey Simmons, one of the best interior rushers, interior players on defense in the NFL. He really is. I mean, it's probably Chris Jones, number 1, and then it might be Jeffrey Simmons, number 2. He's certainly up there, put it that way. And he's a nightmare. He's a headache. He's whatever you want to call him. And then they added Tavondre Sweat in the draft. And Tavondre Sweat's a 380-pound nose tackle that can move, that can get pass rush, that is strong, that can use his feet at an elite level. So we'll see with those two guys how they hold up and how this offensive front holds up. And a lot of it does depend on how Joe is moving, but certainly need this offensive line to play well against Simmons and Sweat and really all these other defensive linemen that they have. They have Harold Landry. They have Arden Key, guys like that could certainly get some pressure off the edge as well with Orlando Brown Jr. out. And number 5, I'm stealing this a little bit from Andrew, but it's Cade York. Andrew said that and deemed and nicknamed Cade York.
You wanted your money, Mac. I say Cash Money Cade.
Cash Money Cade. I like that. Print the shirts. Cash Money Cade, after he was perfect on Monday Night Football against the Cowboys. Will the Bengals kicker continue that? One question. The other question I have is Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Cade York are a combined 16-0 together. 15-0 in 2019 when they were on LSU and led that school to a national championship, undefeated season. 1-0 this year. Will Cash Money Cade deliver again? Will they improve to 17-0? Will the streak continue? That is number 5. In all seriousness, special teams is a huge factor here. We saw it last week. The Titans have stunk on special teams, and so we'll see if the Bengals can take advantage of that edge and have an edge in that department as well. And to me, I think this is going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be one of those grinded out games that goes down to the wire. And I don't love it. I don't love this game at all. And it's part of it is Brian Callahan knows Joe Burrow better than anyone, certainly any opponent that the Bengals have faced. You combine that with the fact that you're on the road, you're dealing with high-end interior pass rushers. It's not just one edge guy where you can just give help over there. These are guys that are moving around. It's going to make it tough. I do think that Will Levis is going to turn the ball over a bit. I do think that it's going to be one of those grinded out games. I do think that Brian Callahan knows enough to make this hard. But I think the Bengals get a victory. It's going to be close. I'll take the Bengals by a field goal, 20-17. The Tennessee Titans kind of stymied this offense a little bit. It's a grinded out game, but Cash Money Cade makes a couple of field goals, a couple of extra points, and the Bengals win by 3, 20-17. Make sure you check out our sponsor, BetUS, and we will talk to you after the game in Nashville. Be safe if you're going to Nashville. Have a great weekend. We will talk to you on game day. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching Cincinnati Bengals Talk. The new CMC, oh man, he just takes Christian McCaffrey, takes his nickname, CMC, Cash Money Cade.
Hey, if he sticks up for Joe in these last 4 weeks, like, he can have it.
Dude. Jeffrey Simmons pushes Joe down. Cade runs onto the field and spears Jeffrey Simmons. It probably wouldn't go well for Cade.
No.
I like the idea.
You got to admire that if it happens, of course.